Well, it may be 10 at night, but it feels like it's in the 90s outside, and the heat is expected to stick around the next few days. Dave has what you can expect in your first alert forecast coming up. And since almost everything we come into contact with this weekend will be hot, doctors are out with a warning, especially for parents with young children. And this building has served as the core for new friendships and life lessons. Now former students are meeting there again tonight to create one final memory.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We're just getting started with what will likely be the hottest stretch of weather so far this year. And it looks pretty nice out there now, but it is humid. It's prompting several advisories and warnings throughout much of southern Wisconsin in anticipation of it feeling like triple-digit temperatures this weekend. Let's check in with meteorologist Dave Caulfield for your first alert forecast.
Amanda, unfortunately, not too many escapes from the heat. Even at night, as you mentioned, it still feels like the 90s for many of us across southern Wisconsin. Right now in downtown Madison, we're looking at mostly clear skies. Currently at 84 degrees, a south-southwest wind at 10 miles per hour. That dew point still in the mid-70s, tropical air in town. Some other temperatures, 82 in Janesville, 81 in Watertown, 85 in Boscobel and Prairie du Chien, and 80 in Platteville. But as I mentioned, still some 90s showing up on the heat index map. 90 is what it feels like in Lone Rock, still feeling like 95 in Boscobel, and still feeling like almost 100 degrees in La Crosse. These dew points will do that to you. 76 the dew point in Madison, 79 almost near 80 in Platteville, and 74 in Prairie du Chien. Wind speed still out of the south, still going to be breezy tomorrow at about 10 to 20 miles per hour this evening. So your day planner for tomorrow, we're starting off in the upper 70s, plenty of sunshine. Highs will make it into the mid 90s, but it could feel as warm as 105 tomorrow. We'll talk more about the heat and humidity and the chance for some strong thunderstorms this weekend in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
My goodness. Okay, thanks, Dave. The heat today causing a portion of Highway 51 to buckle this afternoon. This was near the intersection of Larson Beach Road in McFarland. Traffic was down to one lane in the southbound direction, and that cleared around 8:30 tonight. If you're going to be outside this weekend, be sure to keep in mind surfaces will be hot. Earlier today, we tested a park seesaw, and it came out to nearly 120 degrees. UW Health doctors tell us there isn't an exact temperature that will lead to burns, but they have seen kids burned on metal slides and blacktop. Health officials are encouraging everyone to limit the time spent outside, but those who are venturing out, like Tina Young and her daughter, know how important it is to stay cool.
It's very important. I mean, she can get heat strokes super easy, so can I. Just need to keep her cool and make sure she's having fun.
Health officials recommend drinking about 2 to 4 cups of water for every hour spent working or moving around outside. And with the excessive heat warnings in the coming days, Dane County officials have sent out a full list of places to visit to keep cool this weekend. To check out that full list, head over to our website, channel3000.com. And Summerfest in Milwaukee is also changing up its carry-in rules because of that extreme heat. Both today and tomorrow, festgoers are allowed to bring in sealed, unopened water bottles or a refillable empty clear plastic water bottle. Outside food and drink is usually not allowed. Several Madison area beaches are back open after one of the largest blue-green algae blooms of the year. As of today, all of these beaches are back open. Yesterday, the county closed 16 of the 19 monitored beaches due to potentially harmful bacteria and blue-green algae. If your plans depend on the weather, you can get our 12-hour and 10-day forecast. You can download our Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app in the App Store. St. Patrick's School opened in Janesville more than 150 years ago, and tonight it opened its doors for one of its largest alumni events. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us in our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with what is bringing graduates back to this historic school. Hi, Adam.
Well, that's absolutely right. St. Patrick's School's been a staple here in Janesville for more than 100 years, and tonight they gathered a group of alumni for one of the biggest alumni events yet.
For decades, classes, games, friends. What makes St. Patrick's School so special is the history.
There are so many people from the Janesville community that have some connection here. Their grandfather went here, their grandmother went here, their great-grandmother. their great-grandfather and were married here. It just has a tremendous focal point for the communities.
For over 100 years, a staple of Janesville. And now alumni are back, walking through the same halls they did decades before.
All the good memories, the legacy, the tradition, and it's just kind of helped me remember all of those really kind of good times.
Each alum holds a special memory. For some, it's the holiday basketball tournament.
It was really kind of like you'd see something out of Hoosiers at a 7th and 8th grade version. It really was. And it was literally standing room only. I mean, you were sitting in the aisle.
Decades later, nothing's changed.
It smells the same. It feels the same. I had a couple different coaches, and you kind of hear their voices, telling us to run extra laps.
Memories will live forever. St. Patrick's School saw its last day this year. Because of a drop in enrollment, tonight will be the last night. This is St. Patrick's School. And the memories will be what's left, making Friday's alumni event one last hurrah.
And I think it's always important to have signs and symbols that recognize the ending of one experience and, as I said before, turning the page to a new one.
As of right now, there are plans to repurpose St. Patrick's School into something else, but as I talked to alumni advisors today, they said they don't know what that's going to be quite yet, but they do hope it's going to be something that has to do with education.
Well, Adam Dexter reporting in the Rock County Bureau tonight. Thank you so much, Adam. New tonight, police are hoping the public can help identify a bank robber from earlier this week. It happened Tuesday at the Bank of Sun Prairie. This surveillance photo was just released today. Police say the man was in a knit winter hat and glasses with a cloth or mask covering his face and a green long sleeve pullover shirt. This happened during the middle of the day around 2:10 in the afternoon. The man handed the teller a note demanding money and was able to run away. Anyone with information on who he may be should call police. Police are investigating a pair of burglaries at UW Hospital that are believed to be connected. They're looking at this man tonight. They say he may be involved in both. The first one happened Tuesday in the J5 unit. The second one happened Thursday in the G5 unit. The University of Wisconsin-Madison Police Department is actively investigating and asks anyone with information to contact them. The family of a young woman who took her own life inside a Dane County group home following a brutal sexual assault is suing employees of the home for wrongful death. It's a story News 3 has been investigating for 2 years now. The family of 17-year-old Brianna Kalk filed a federal lawsuit this month against Orion Family Services, who ran the now closed Spohn Avenue Home for Girls, claiming employees did not cut the girl down after they found her hanging in her closet and they refused to perform CPR. Kalk, whose family now says they want her story told, was gang raped in a Wisconsin Department of Corrections halfway house, where News 3 found lax monitoring. Nathan Thompson was the fourth man found guilty of sexual assault in this incident by a jury yesterday. One of the main anchor stores at the Westtown Mall in Madison is closing. The Sears store will close at the end of September. A Sears spokesperson says the decision was made as part of an ongoing effort to streamline the company's operations and focused on its best stores. And it's the end of an era for all Toys R Us kids. The store closed all of its U.S. locations today. The company filed for bankruptcy in September, and after poor holiday sales, the company announced it would go out of business this summer in the U.S. Over the last few weeks, Toys R Us has sold everything, including its fixtures in the Madison store, has signs posted on its windows that it is already closed. And the Staples on Verona Road in Madison is also closing. The last day for this store will be August 3rd. Company representatives cited the shift toward online shopping as one reason for the store's closing. The city of Annapolis came together tonight to remember the victims of the mass shooting inside the office of the Capital Gazette newspaper. CBS Kenneth Craig has more from the scene.
There were outpourings of love and support in Annapolis Friday evening, honoring the 5 victims of the Capital Gazette shooting.
A free press, that's what keeps us free.
Reporter Wendy Winter's daughter greeted mourners at a vigil.
This is far too soon to lose my mother. She was a fantastic woman, a great mother, and an amazing reporter.
The man charged with ending those 5 lives is being held without bond. 38-year-old Jared Ramos is on suicide watch. A woman captured Ramos's arrest Thursday on her cell phone. Prosecutors say he had a long simmering grudge against the Capitol and not only planned the ambush, he turned the newsroom into a trap.
The rear door was barricaded. Mr. Ramos then, as I told the judge, entered into the front door and worked his way through the office where he was shooting victims as he walked through the office.
The Capitol Gazette's office is off limits, but that did not prevent journalists from doing their jobs.
As promised, the staff put out a Friday edition of the paper. Former colleague David Emanuel called that incredible.
I don't know how they did it, but I'm proud to see that they did that. My heart goes out to all the families and everybody at that paper because it's going to be a changed place for forever now.
The Capitol's opinion page simply read, "Today we are speechless," and was left blank in memory of their fallen colleagues. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Annapolis, Maryland.
Police say Ramos used a pump-action shotgun, which he legally purchased last year. President Trump plans to interview candidates for the vacant Supreme Court seat this weekend in New Jersey. Today, the president said he would speak with 1 or 2 candidates and plans to announce his selection on Monday, July 9th. America's trade wars continued to escalate today, with Canada announcing billions of dollars in retaliatory tariffs. President Trump celebrated the 6-month anniversary of his Tax Reform Act, calling it an economic miracle. He defended the trade wars he's provoked with some of America's allies, but as he was speaking, Canada was fighting back. The foreign minister called U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum illegal and unjust.
We're going to be the smart country again, not the stupid country that was taken advantage of by everybody.
Canada has no choice but to retaliate with a measured, perfectly reciprocal, dollar-for-dollar response. And gals, for all of your hard work, I'm turning around to look at them.
He's subject to taxes of up to 25%. That includes not only steel and aluminum, but also consumer items like ketchup and lawnmowers. Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods go into effect on Sunday. This is the country's strongest trade action since World War II. And Foxconn has reached an agreement to purchase a building in downtown Green Bay. The tech company plans to open an innovation center later this year in the current Watermark building. The company plans to hire 200 workers in that location. Still to come tonight, a new campaign by the Madison Police Department wants you to become a helicopter parent. Plus, there's still time to help stop kids in our community from going hungry this summer. How you can join our Hunger Hero Squad, that's coming up next. Welcome back. Our Hunger Heroes campaign with the Goodman Community Center continues through the weekend. We are collecting food to help the Goodman Center support families over the summer when kids can't rely on school to supplement meals. With your help, we raised almost $20,000 so far and hope to raise $10,000 more by tomorrow.
We're looking to fill a food bag that will feed a family of 4 across an entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We still need about half of the food to get that done. So we have a lot left to collect over the next 24 hours and to get bagged up and ready for people to use.
To donate, it's simple. You just go online to goodmancenter.org/donate. And we are getting an updated look at what the Madison Public Market may look like. It will be built at the intersection of East Washington Avenue and First Street. Organizers say the East Washington Plaza will be demolished, and in partnership with a private developer, a new mixed-use project that includes the market will be built on that site. The Madison Police Department is encouraging parents to be extra involved in their kids' lives. They have a new campaign called #SearchAndRescue and #HelicopterParent. The idea is for parents to know exactly where their kids are going and with who, and make sure that they do not have access to guns.
Do we know what our kids have access to? Do we know what is in our kids' bedrooms or in our kids' backpacks or in our kids' vehicles? And as parents, are we doing everything in our power to make sure that they don't have access to guns?
MPD is using social media to help spread this campaign. The department is also looking into making a billboard as well, similar to the winter nightly lockup campaign. And check this out. Despite a heat wave throughout much of the Midwest, there is still snow in Appleton. This is in a parking ramp there. It is common for patches of snow to stick around during the spring and sometimes the beginning of summer, but this is pretty unique for late June, and we definitely don't have any snow sticking around here in Madison.
No, that snow will not go in Appleton, but it's air you can wear over the next couple of days. Lots of rhyming going on.
Oh, yeah.
Brought to you by Dr. Seuss, the 10 p.m. news. As heat bulletins in effect from right now until tomorrow evening for much of southern Wisconsin in the way of excessive heat warnings. Now, heat index values could be as warm as 105 as we head into portions of Saturday. So alert days in the forecast for tonight still stays pretty warm and very muggy conditions as well. Then on Saturday, it could be, as I mentioned, in the mid-triple digits outside, or at least that's how it could feel. Saturday night into Sunday, we also do have an alert day in the forecast for some strong and maybe heavy thunderstorms. Some heavy rain could be associated with those thunderstorms as a cold front comes through. It only knocks our temperatures down, folks, about 8 degrees, but I guess we'll take it in the mid-80s. That's a bit of a cool down outside. High temperatures today were in the mid to upper 90s, close to 100 in La Crosse and Black River Falls. So that makes our number of 90s for this year up to 6 with the 93 today in Madison, and that's the number of 90s all year in 2017, 2016, and 2015. It's a popular number now. In 2014, we only hit 92 times and 11 in 2013, but look at how that number goes up as we had 1 year back in time from there to 2012, almost 40 days of 90-degree heat. We'll see over the next month or so what end of the spectrum we end up on. Temperatures right now are in the mid-80s across southern Wisconsin, but with dew points still in the mid to upper 70s, it does feel like the 90s across portions of the area at 10 p.m. tonight. Pretty remarkable stuff. Speaking of 90s, I think we have a couple more 90s on the way tomorrow and into next week. Temperatures will hover around 90, hovering around about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. And with heat like this, it only takes about 30 minutes of being outside to be susceptible to heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Heat stroke, the more serious of the two heat illnesses, but still things to look out for. You want to try and stay cool any way you can and be safe out there. Don't spend too much time outside if you can help it. Get into that air conditioning and the shade as well. Live look in Madison at mostly clear skies. Right now in the WISC-TV Skycam, 84 degrees, a south-southwest wind at 10 miles per hour. Doppler track showing not too much happening as far as rain goes, but that could change as we head into late Saturday and into Sunday. A slight risk of severe weather, actually including Madison and spots to the north and west. Tonight, temperatures in the upper 70s for lows. As we head into tomorrow, breezy, hot, and humid. Heat index values about 105 possible with temperatures in the 90s. Don't know why there are no numbers here, but let me fill you in. We actually have those numbers filling in as I speak. See, the squeaky wheel does get the oil sometimes. We are in the mid triple digits. That's how it feels tomorrow. Then it is cooling down a little bit, but still will be rather warm on Sunday. And of course, we have the rain and thunderstorms to deal with on Sunday as well. Temperatures will be in the mid 80s for highs, but as that cold front comes through, some pretty strong thunderstorms could come our way as well. So we'll have to keep an eye to the sky during the day on Sunday. Your 7-day forecast showing things staying near 90 degrees. That humidity stays with us as we enter the month of July in just a couple of days. For July 4th, it is looking hot, humid, with a chance of some thunderstorms here and there, and that thunderstorm chances in the forecast for much of the start of July as well. Pretty typical summer weather, definitely hotter than normal, but you know, what do you expect? It's July, we got to get through it in some way.
So many 90s.
Yes.
The best years, me and you. 90s babies.
That's when we were born.
Yes. Coming up, Jerry Kelly stays in the lead at the U.S. Senior Open. That story in sports next.
The Brewers won last night in Cincinnati. Tonight they go for 2 in a row against the Reds. Keon Broxton was in the middle of a lot of stuff tonight. Here he takes the first pitch of the 4th inning, sends it over the left field wall for his first homer of the season. Later, Broxton hits another 2 homers, 4 RBI for Broxton tonight. Then in the 8th, looked like Broxton really messed up on this play. The catcher for the Reds, Tucker Barnhart, throws behind Broxton. Oh, he's a dead duck, or so it seems. They run Broxton back to the bag. Orlando Arcia then tries to make it back to second. He's thrown out, but Broxton takes off for home, and wouldn't you know it, he makes it. Final score, Brewers 8, Reds 2 at Wrigley Field. The Cubs beat the Twins 10-6. Mallards lost in Wausau 7-3. Jerry Kelly's in the lead after 2 rounds of the U.S. Senior Open in Colorado. Kelly follows yesterday's 466 with a 169 today. It looked like he'd scramble for par on the 18th hole, but why make par when you can roll it in for birdie? Kelly says yesterday's howling winds were a little calmer today.
I'd say the wind still picked up now and then. I mean, not to 35 like we were talking about, but it was still enough to make you think and make you change clubs. So the same aspect was still there, just not quite as extreme. Struck the ball well again. Happy with the way I played.
Kelly has a 1-shot lead on Miguel Angel Jimenez. They'll be paired again tomorrow for the 3rd straight day as the U.S. Senior Open in Colorado Springs heads to the 3rd round tomorrow. Jim Schumann, by the way, missed the cut. Tiger Woods in contention at the Quicken Loans National. Watch this one. His 30-yard chip shot rolls in for birdie. Tiger shoots his best round of the year, 65. He's 4 shots behind the leaders, Bo Hosler, Ryan Armour, and Brian Gay. Tiger is tied for 11th place. Believe it or not, Packers training camp begins 4 weeks from yesterday. With Aaron Rodgers back 100% and the addition of tight end Jimmy Graham on offense, the Packers look as good as anyone right now. Even with their perceived flaws on defense, someone who should know, former Cowboys quarterback and CBS NFL analyst Tony Romo, says the Packers have put themselves in a great position.
I think the Packers probably got better, maybe more than any team I saw this offseason. I think Green Bay, if I was, it's too early, but, injuries happen, things, can happen. But right now, they're right at the top for me as far as a pick for a team that, you wouldn't want to see in the playoffs right now. For Green Bay, it's like if their secondary is a little bit better, I think that they're the team to beat this year going into the football season.
And LeBron James declines his $35 million option with the Cleveland Cavaliers to become a free agent. LeBron could end up back in Cleveland or perhaps with the Lakers or Houston, creating a super team depending on where Paul George and or Chris Paul might end up. And we'll be right back.
Looks like it's going to be a sticky weekend.
It's feeling hot, hot, hot. That is for sure. It still feels like the 90s in many spots across southern Wisconsin tonight at like 10:30, which is pretty crazy. Temperatures will start off in the 70s tomorrow, reach highs in the mid-90s. It will feel like the mid-triple digits, and temperatures stay near 90 for the foreseeable future. Plenty of humidity and some storm chances here and there as well.
We could do it. We could get through it.
Yes.
Yes. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.